Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. I've noticed a lot of people like my buildings, and a lot of people have asked me how do I get inspiration. Now they've asked me outside of YouTube, but I'm gonna give you a couple ideas on how to get inspiration for things that you would like to build. Some ways that I get inspiration is by simply seeing something that somebody else created. I then use that to get a general idea of what I would want to create, and then I build it. Say for my house, for instance, on the Vlogger SMP. Here's a photo of it so that you know what I'm talking about. And then other things you might get stumped on. Like, what am I going to build? How am I going to get an idea to build this? And why am I even trying to build this? Is there a purpose for it? Is there a purpose behind it? So that's what I'm going to dive into today to try and explain how I came up with all my creative processes for the current standpoint, which is the Vlogger SMP, which is where we are right now. We're not in the Vlogger SMP, I'm just saying like timeline wise. Alright, so I'm going to show you my creative testing world. This is where basically all of my basic general ideas get plopped down before I can take them into my survival world and edit them in there to improve the design and make it look a little bit better. So for the town hall, I didn't just go off of a design that I saw in my head. I went on this design right here. This is a real life building in Wilmington, North Carolina. And so sometimes if I can't come up with a design on my own, I will take a real life building and I will try and make it as closely resembling to that building in Minecraft as in real life as possible, to make it look as realistic as possible, because sometimes it is hard for you to come up with your own ideas. I even have hard times coming up with my own ideas. But if you look at the pictures and you study every single aspect of the picture, you don't have to get everything perfect, because obviously in Minecraft you can't get everything perfect. So sometimes if you're stumped, you can get a design from real life and use that to make your design in Minecraft, and sometimes that can help you. Another thing you might find helpful is to get a general idea of what you want to do, rather than just going off of nothing and just being like, oh, I'm just going to wing this. Maybe you just get a little bit of an idea of what you want to do first before you finish it. See, for the clock tower, me and Daggerfought, we spent around an hour designing the clock tower. I designed this portion of the clock tower, whilst he helped me design the rest of the clock tower, which is why on the final build there's not these lines in it and there's the clock there, and all of this is a little bit different than what you see here before you. But it's really a big process between whether or not it's easy or difficult. But having more than one person can also help you. Getting a couple ideas from other people, asking them what their thoughts on it and what you could improve, are very helpful in the creative process, which is what I like to do. And that's how I came up with this design for the bank, is by asking what people's opinions are on it. For the saloon, I kind of really just went for my own design on this. I thought of what a early 1900s saloon would look like in the west side of America, and this is what I came up with: a wooden building with a rotting porch. And to port that into Minecraft and make that look as realistic as possible is a little bit difficult, but if you try, you'll get it done perfectly. Now, obviously there's things where I had to take liberties like this, where I just didn't bring that into our Minecraft world on the Vlogger SMP, and on creative, for some reason you can't get a border around that S, but this is how I came up with the design for the saloon. I really just thought of what would a real life one look like, and it does help to also get ideas from other things like pictures of rotting wood or pictures of like falling down archways and stuff like that, which is really helpful for me in general. Now, I don't believe I've ever showed this, but I have made a couple statues here, And this one is designed directly off of my skin. Now what you can do is you can take it pixel for pixel, the darker pixels being made out of deep slate, the lighter pixels being made out of each lighter block that there is. And so this actually didn't take too long, but it's something where even if the sleeves are completely different than this, you can still just do whatever you want for them, because it'll still look exactly like your skin. Because nobody even noticed that these arms aren't even my actual skin's arms. They're just random arms. Now these hands are my skin's hands. And then we also have the Technoblade statue, which went from a direct image of Technoblade's skin, which I think works perfectly fine, which is going to be ported into the Vlogger SMP, as well as another statue of another one of the players in the Vlogger SMP, which asked me to make a statue, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Another thing that helps me with a couple designs is by making a design a couple times and then seeing how well it works with every other block. So I made this well, and I made it out of cobblestone, I made it out of andesite, granite, stone, and then I also made it out of a couple different wood types to scatter around the world. Now this was for the Vlogger SMP Season 1, but I really liked the way that this looked, and I made this design and I really wanted to stick with it, which is why I really like it. And also you can actually see down it to see if there's water in there, and each one is at a different level. So if you're going to make things like this, adding a little bit of variety between them as well as making them different levels is a great way to do that, and that's what I like to do. Another thing is, if you're gonna build a river, you can add like these rocks, and you can make a couple rock designs for in the river for the water to split around, which is what you can use glass panes for. You can use glass panes to make it look like it's splitting around the rock rather than just the rock sitting in it. Another thing that I did is I took this and I really wanted to capture a actual river feeling for one of my builds in Season 1, and so what I did is I took the thought of what does an actual Minecraft river look like, and I really just took it and I tried to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit more easy to traverse and everything, and tried to understand where this might look a little bit different in real life rather than in Minecraft. So in real life, it's more dirt and rock out the bottom. So what I did is I took coarse dirt and I placed it along these edges to try and make it a little bit more realistic, a little bit closer to what the real life version of a river would look like, rather than there being sand and clay in every river, because there is not sand and clay in every single river. And so I really tried to make this as realistic possible for the area where I'm from, because this is what rivers typically are like in the area that I'm from. Now, a couple designs have a few key functions. This one does not have any function, and neither does this one. This one is just meant to be a nice looking barn. I built this in the Vlogger SMP Season 1. That was an episode I did publish, I'm pretty sure. And so this is what it looked like. And I didn't have an interior for it built at the time, and I never planned to do an interior. I just wanted it to be open. And this is what it had looked like. And then we have something like this. It's also completely just outside look. It's a police station. Now I'll admit that the police station didn't look really that good, but I still built it trying to make it look the best. But that's the point. Not everything looks good. That's why you build to learn how to build, to get a better understanding of what you're doing. And then this is also the fire department, which I do think that the fire department looked good. I still like it. I never had any resentment towards it because I have always liked it. Now, I never really worked on the interior here, but let's just say the fire truck is ugly. It looks terrible. And then the upstairs looks terrible and looks like a prison. And then we got this prison type bathroom. But it's helpful to build stuff and to get an idea from other people, get an opinion from other people on what they think is good about it. If they think it's bad or they think it's good, to understand if you should try and improve the building or if you should keep it the way it is, because that is always extremely helpful. But it's also helpful for you to do details on the back because you don't want it to just look the same all the way around. Another thing that took me a while to build was this, and if you know what this is, you know this is the shop from the Vlogger SMP. Now, this took me a while because I had to figure out an idea, and once again, I got a design from the internet. I didn't look up any Minecraft builds, I looked up real life buildings, and so what I did is I took the liberty of taking what it would look like in real life, and I tried to make it as realistic as possible in Minecraft. And so using a couple things like variation and everything can really help make the building look more lifelike rather than just being a still perfect thing, because not everything is still and not everything is perfect. And so having it open and everything makes it feel a little bit more lifelike. And you know, usually in shops in like an alleyway, they'll have like a window up at the edge for a little bit of sunlight to creep in from. And this is also the stump from the server as well. What I did for this is I wanted to make it look like some of the bark had fallen off where the top portion of the tree had fallen down. And so I wanted this to be the inner layers of the tree rather than the outer layers of the tree. So what I really was trying to accomplish was something that would look natural, but also be something that is not natural. And there's a couple points where these are actually rounded rather than just a log. Another thing that I built that not a lot of people saw because I really just didn't do much in my hardcore world because I died was this villager trading hall. Now, I didn't really have that much of an interior design for it. I kind of just was like, okay, I'll do the interior design when I get to that point, but I never really got to the point of doing an interior design. But my idea was to go with more of like a Japanese style building because cherry wood just reminds me of a Japanese style building. I'm not going to show you what's in the back over there because that's spoilers. But I really tried to make this the best design that I could and tried to bring it together and make it as life-filled as possible and as bright as possible, because I also added these in to make these kind of like windows as well as these, which are actual windows. And that was my idea for it. And then on the side there was a little garden. On the back it was just a wall, but there was still stuff on the back, so it would still have a design. Now for this house, we all recognize this house. This house is in the server right now. Now this is the actual plan for what I'm going to build on the outside because I keep forgetting to do it. But this is what I'm going to be doing later in the season, is adding a little area for a little lumber yard and stuff like that for where I'm going to be taking care of everything out here, and some extra storage because currently as it stands my house in the server has no storage, and it would make it a whole lot more useful if I had this there because there'd be storage and a stone cutter and it would just look cool, I think. And so yeah, those are basically my creative processes. I'm going to list the key points right now. My creative processes is to try and formulate an idea. If you can't formulate an idea, get a picture of something that you want to use as a reference image. Either copy that build in Minecraft or just build off of it. Another key point, ask friends about their opinions. Whether they're good or bad, they're still opinions and you still need them to improve your work. Good or bad opinions, they're still opinions and they can still help you improve by giving you ideas on what you can or can't improve. And the reason I say can't is because you've already hit your max for that thing and they think that you're doing great in that certain area. The next thing is variation in your building. Variation in your building can help you get a lot more detail in rather than having a little bit of detail, making it look a little bit better than what it would look like if it had no detail in it. Another thing that is very good is gradients, like the wall behind me, because you notice how it gets from darker to lighter to the green colors, and that kind of makes it blend a little bit better. That is another thing that is very helpful. Another thing is to focus on the way that you're lighting things. Make sure that you're lighting things in a cool, calm sort of way rather than just placing a bunch of light blocks in random areas. because lighting them like I have my shed lit up is a very good way to light things, and also it's not too bad looking. It looks natural with it. You gotta make sure that everything you do to make things light up or to make storage work all flows naturally with your build. And I think that's probably gonna do it for all my tips. Now, if you want any other tips or anything, just put them down in the comments and I'll do my best. So this actually was a while of me trying to get this. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys want any more things like maybe like what we use for mods on the Vlogger SMP or anything like that, please just put it down in the comments and I will do my best to make a video about it. Thank you, and have a great day. Goodbye.